This changes everything for player development in Dynasty. It's understanding how XP works. Let's get into it. First and foremost, I want to thank my boy DK. He helped me with so much of this. Without him, I wouldn't have been able to figure all this out, so he was huge. Please go subscribe to him on YouTube, Captain Shenanigan, and I've also tagged him in this video, so follow him on TikTok. He is one of the best creators. If you like me, you're going to absolutely love him. I want to start with, these are round numbers. We do not know exactly what these numbers are. These are my best, like really good estimates. I've done hypothesis and tested it, so these are really close. I feel comfortable putting these numbers out there, but they are not necessarily to a T. They are more to guide expectations. We're working on some pieces of the puzzle that may allow us some very specific, correct answers. There's still going to be a little bit of guesswork, but we're going to drill down and get much closer in the future. And I also haven't tested defense yet. This is mostly for offense. So I want to start there and let you know that. But we'll do a little bit of background on what is going on, because if you just want to read the screen, you can read the screen, but I want to fill you in on everything. So because this year we have the weekly training and players are assigned an XP amount, now we have some actual literal numbers to give context to the progress bar on each player. When you go into their actual player profile, you'll see that they have a progress bar, and that progress bar fills up so much, but without any actual numbers or anything, we couldn't contextualize that. So now with these numbers we get from training, we're actually able to contextualize that and able to do some legit testing and figure these numbers out. So that's what really has led us to this point and allows us to figure these things out. One of the biggest things that DK told me is that that progress bar will fill up all the way and not give you a dev point unless the player has played, or if they don't play all season, when you get to off-season training camp, that's where those points will actually show you. So you're going to get the points eventually, but they will not give you the point until you've played in a game or until you've gotten to off-season training camp. So this could result in, from time to time, an inflated off-season training camp number for the amount of dev points that they actually got from off-season training. So that's where some results have varied with what a player will get in the offseason. So if you're confused on that at all, that's possibly what's happening. We're actually going to start at the bottom of this graphic because this equation lets you know how much XP a player needs in order to fill their bar. So if a player is 60 overall or lower, the answer is always going to be 1,500. So for every overall point they are higher, it's another 25 XP points to get the dev trait. So in general, we're doing overall minus 60 times 25 plus 1,500. And if you do that math, you're going to figure out exactly how much XP you need to fill your bar in the player screen. And if you don't know what I'm talking about, go look at the player screen. You'll see it. It's above them. It's above all their attributes. So now going to the top of the graphic, this was a huge piece that DK told me that I had no idea. And your players will get 450 XP points simply for just being on the field for one snap. Getting a credit, be on special teams. They could be a wide receiver on a handoff. They just need to be on the field for one snap in the game. That's it. And if they do that, they'll get 450 XP points just for being in the game. So almost a third of the way to a dev point for the majority of players. That's huge. So 3 games in general should get us really close to a dev point. And with how many points you get from training in those same 3 weeks, you could really end up with, in 3 weeks, playing 3 games and having your 3 training, you could almost end up with 2 dev points in that amount of time, depending on how good your player is. So I haven't done a ton of testing for defense yet, but on offense, it's about 275 XP points for every touchdown. For every snap you're on the field, it's about 10 XP. So just playing, whether you're making plays or scoring touchdowns, getting yards, just playing in the game, you're going to get an extra 10 XP just for one snap, for each snap. And then finally, for every yard that you get receiving, passing, rushing, you're going to get about 10 XP for each yard. So this will get you really close to understanding how many points you need, XP points you need to get that extra dev trait. Paying attention to this is going to be a lot of work, but this is a really great way, especially if a player already has their red shirt. You can just put them in a game. It's not going to hurt anything. If they're a backup, you can actually develop your backups a little bit more than what you'd be able to otherwise, and I think that's critical. So your backups can get just a little bit better, and I think this is where this shines, is for putting at the end of the game, making it meaningful. You're up by a lot or you're down by a lot, making it a lot more meaningful for your player development. The users who take all this into consideration are going to end up with better players and end up winning more games because of it. So I think this is absolutely huge detail for those players who are looking to get every edge that you possibly can. So I love this information. I'm so glad we found it out, and I think we're going to get even better information for you in the future. But I definitely wanted to make you a video to kind of share what I've found, what I learned, and definitely give a shout out to DK because, like I said, without him, I wouldn't have figured any of this out, and I wouldn't have understood how impactful this can be if you pay attention to it. So I love you guys. I hope this helps. If you have any questions, please let me know. I hope all this was very clear, but if it's not, just comment and let me know what you're confused about, and I answer anything I possibly can for you guys.